There is a rule in mathematics that looks completely absurd. Negative times positive equals negative. Fair enough. Positive times negative equals negative. Still reasonable. But the math suddenly says negative times negative equals positive. Wait, what? How does multiplying two negatives somehow create a positive? That feels illegal. It feels like saying two mistakes cancel each other into success. Like taking two wrong turns and somehow ended up exactly where you wanted to go. Like walking backward twice and magically moving forward. That shouldn't work. And yet every calculator agrees, every textbook, every mathematician agrees. Somehow these strange little rules survive every test we throw at it. But here's the real question. Did mathematicians just invented this rule because they needed arithmetic to work nicely? Or there is actually a deeper reason why this has to be true? Today we are putting this rule on trial, and by the end you will see that mathematics has absolutely no choice. If numbers are going to remain consistent, then negative times negative must equals positive. No expectations, no alternative, no escape. At first, multiplication feels obvious. Take this, 3 times 4 equals 12. Easy. We can picture it as 3 groups of 4 or 4 plus 4 plus 4. Now, nothing mysterious there. Now let's try this. 3 times negative 4 becomes negative 12. That still makes sense. Imagine each negative 4 is a debt of $4. 3 debt of $4 give you negative 12. Still intuitive, still visual, and still logical. Now, let's swap the sign. Negative 3 times 4, this also gives you negative 12. You can think of this as the opposite of 3 groups of 4. Instead of adding 12s, you're subtracting 12. Again, not too strange. But now, we arrive at the weird one. Negative 3 times negative 4, then suddenly everything falls apart. What does that even mean? Like negative group of negative 4? Or how do you even picture negative groups? How do you physically imagine less than 0 groups or depth? You can't. Your intuition crashes, and this is exactly where most people stop asking questions. They memorize the rule and move on. But mathematics doesn't work by memorization. It works by consistency. And if intuition fails us here, logic has to take over. Let's look for a pattern. Start with something we know. 3 times 4 equals 12. Now reduce the first number by 1. 2 times 4 equals 8. Reduce again. 1 times 4 equals 4. Again, 0 times 4 equals 0. Look carefully. Each time the first number drops by 1, the answer drops by 4. That is the pattern. So continue. If the pattern is going to stay consistent, then negative 1 times 4 equals negative 4. Then negative 2 times 4 equals negative 8. Then negative 3 times 4 equals negative 12. That feels natural. No surprises. Now let's try the same thing with the negative second number. Start here. 3 times negative 4 equals negative 12. Reduce the first number again. 2 times negative 4 equals negative 8. Then 1 times negative 4 equals negative 4. Then 0 times negative 4 equals 0. Notice what is happening. The answer is increasing by 4 every time. So if the pattern continues, then the next answer must be negative 1 times negative 4 equals 4. Then negative 2 times negative 4 equals 8. Then negative 3 times negative 4 equals 12. That isn't guesswork. That isn't a trick. The pattern forces it. So if negative times negative give a negative answer instead, then this entire sequence would break suddenly. And mathematics doesn't allow break patterns. Consistency is the law. So even before we deeply understand why, the structure of arithmetic already demands it. Negative times negative equals positive. Now, let's make this visual. Imagine a number line. Positive movement means moving to the right, and negative movement means moving to the left. Simple. Take 3 times 2. This means moving 2 units right 3 times. You land at 6. Now, try 3 times negative 2. Now you move 2 units left 3 times. You land at negative 6. It's still easy. Now, here's the key. What does multiplying by negative 1 do? It reverses direction. It flips a number across 0. So if you multiply 5 times negative 1, you get negative 5. if you multiply negative 5 times negative 1, you get 5. So multiplying by negative 1 is like reflecting across a mirror placed at 0. Everything flips. Positive becomes negative and negative becomes positive. Now imagine doing that twice. Start with 5. Flip once, that's negative 5. Flip again, 5. Now you're back where you started. A reversal of reversal cancels out. That means negative 1 times negative 1 is equal to 1. This cannot be anything else because two reflections restore the original direction, and once that is true, everything else follows. For example, negative 2 times negative 3 is just 2 times 3 with two direction reversal. The first negative flips direction, the second negative flips it back. So the negative cancels. The result is positive, not because of magic but because of memorization, because two reversals undo each other. Now for the final proof. This is where mathematics leaves absolutely no room for doubt. There is a rule called the distributive law. This always works. Always. No exception. So let's test it. Take negative 1, 1 plus negative 1. Inside the parentheses, 1 plus negative 1 equals 0. So we get negative 1, 0 equals 0. Simple. Now distribute. Negative 1, 1 plus negative 1, negative 1. We know negative 1, 1 is equal to negative 1. So this becomes negative 1 plus negative 1, negative 1. And we already know the whole thing must equal 0. So we solve the missing value. What number added to negative 1 gives 0? Only positive 1. So negative 1 equals 1. That's not option. That's not convention. That's not a choice mathematics made. It is mathematically unavoidable. So if you try forcing negative 1 equals negative 1, then the equation becomes negative 1 plus negative 1 equals negative 2. But it was supposed to equal 0. Contradiction. So the distributive law would fail. Arithmetic will collapse and algebra will stop working. Physics equation will break, engineering calculation will become unreliable, and entire mathematics system will fall apart. So the universe of numbers only have one consistent option. Negative 1 equals 1, and therefore negative times negative equals positive, always. And this is what makes mathematics so beautiful. Something that looked completely absurd turned out to be inevitable. At first, it feels like nonsense. Two negative becoming positive? Impossible. But when you follow the logic, when you respect the patterns, when you let consistency guide the rules, you discover something remarkable. It could have never been anything else. Two negatives don't magically become positive. They cancel each other's reversal. They restore direction. They preserve the deep structure of arithmetic itself. And hidden inside this little strange rule, one of the math's most elegant truths. The universe of numbers is tightly connected. That once one rule is true, all others are forced to follow. What looked bizarre was actually unavoidable, and somehow that makes it beautiful. And I hope to see you next time.